The new year is right around the corner. You know, hence the party hat. And a lot of you guys are gonna use that new year to start fresh and do a reset. You know, new year, new me, the whole shebang. When people find out that you're trying to get healthy, they love sharing all of their experiences and giving you advice. But is all of that advice worth hearing? Definitely not. But what's the worst advice out there? I'm about to tell you.
The first bad piece of advice is that you have to do a specific diet to lose weight.
So at some point, you're going to hear about a lot of different diets because there's about 1 million of them out there. And I'm sure you guys have already heard of plenty. Depending on when you were born, you might have heard a ton about the Slim Fast diet, or Atkins, or keto, which has probably been one of the latest crazes. And of all these diets, some of them are absolutely terrible and you won't lose weight, but a lot of them, you will still lose the weight. You'll probably lose it pretty fast. And the second you go off the diet, you gain it all back because it's not sustainable. If you don't address why you gained weight in the first place, no diet is gonna help you unless you stay on that diet for the rest of your life. So before you start a diet, especially one that is super, super restrictive, take a second and be like, hey, do I wanna be on this diet for the rest of my life? If the answer is no, don't waste your time on it. Getting healthy isn't a diet. It's a lifestyle change. As I gesture at you with Tupperware.
And bad advice number 2 is to severely restrict your calories.
One other absolutely horrible piece of advice is to only eat 12,000 calories a day. Nope, that would be mukbangers. 1,200 calories or less a day. Well, I guess they're both terrible advice. But if someone tells you to eat 1,200 calories or less a day, and they have not talked in depth with you about your medical history, your activity level, your current eating habits, and done some sort of calculation, and they're not a registered dietitian, I would not listen to them as far as you could throw them, or whatever that expression is. It's not healthy. Yes, cutting your calories drastically will help you lose weight, probably quite quickly. But just like with trying a fad diet, it's not gonna be sustainable. If you lose all of the weight, yeah, it's gonna feel really great for a while until everything sneaks back up on you and you gain it all back. Now, and yes, I'm hanging up my bras. Ooh, la la. See my granny bras. But aside from being not sustainable, they can be very, very dangerous. 1,200 calories a day is not enough for the majority of people. If I remember correctly, the last statistic I saw was that the average woman, which admittedly that encompasses a whole big spectrum, average. The average woman requires 2,000 calories a day and the average man requires 2,500 in terms of maintenance calories. If you are trying to lose weight, yes, you absolutely have to be in a calorie deficit, but you still need to be eating enough food, calories, to fuel your body, because that is literally what a calorie is. It's a measure of energy. You have to have enough calories to fuel everything you do. That also applies to you guys who are working out. If you're trying to work out regularly and go to the gym on 1,200 calories a day, your workouts are not gonna be great. You're not gonna have the energy to get through all of them. So don't waste your time. If you're serious about losing weight and want to cut your calories, I'd recommend talking to a registered dietitian. My personal recommendation, if you are trying to lose weight, is to cut calories, but in a healthy amount. I did see one thing online that said 500 to 750 daily is what you should be cutting, but for me, honestly, that even sounds like a lot. I would start smaller. Whatever your regular calories are, find out what that is first, track them for a minute, see what's what, and then start small. If I cut 100 calories a day, do I see a difference on the scale? Okay, 200. But make sure you find a balance between, okay, I'm seeing scale results, or slimness, because it's not always scale victories, things do change in your body. The difference between those and when you're suddenly starting to feel like, hey, maybe I'm not getting enough energy to do what I need to. That's your sign you might have gone too far.
And bad piece of advice number 3 is that you absolutely cannot have carbs.
One thing you will hear all over the internet is that carbs are the devil. Carbs are not the devil. They're just in some of the things that you eat. Food in any capacity is not inherently evil. You can eat what you want in moderation. When you are dealing, however, with a sugar addiction or a food addiction, you might need some help, kind of, in therapy, highly recommend, working through what actually is moderation. Because when I first started this, my version of eating pizza in moderation was still eating half of a large pizza, and that's too much.
I will say that this is something I still do struggle with on occasion, but overall I've gotten much better with and just keep checking myself in therapy. It is definitely a lifelong struggle.
So, if you want to have carbs, that's okay, but make sure that they're part of a balanced diet. And make sure you hit start on the microwave. Go! Yes, right now, I am about to have some leftover sweet potato casserole, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. What I'm not having is the entire casserole. I'm having a piece of the casserole, and I'm gonna make sure that it's part of a balanced dinner. There's not just gonna be carbs, it's one part of a dinner. Food is not evil. You are not somehow a bad person if you have quote unquote bad food. It's just food. It's a different form of fuel. Fuel your body appropriately, make sure it's balanced, and you're good to go.
And bad piece of advice number 4 is that what you do in the gym matters more than what you put in your face.
Many people are also going to tell you that if you mess up in your diet that day, you should just go to the gym and work it off. Truthfully though, if you're having not so great a day for your diet, you should be aware that chances are the junkier food, which is not bad, but again, moderation, the junk food is going to be very, very calorie dense, meaning that what you ate probably has a lot of calories. Let's say, hypothetically, you got a Blizzard from Dairy Queen, my own personal nemesis. Those suckers, most of them are over 1,000 calories.
Emotional damage.
You know how long it takes to burn 1,000 calories? Just to give you an idea, when I walked around White Rock Lake, which basically made it to like 9.5 or 10 miles, I burned about 1,200 calories. That took me roughly about 4 hours. That's a long time just to burn off a single Blizzard. I don't know about you guys, but I would much rather try to eat something a little bit healthier in the first place and not have to focus on my gym workout being a catch-up. Instead, don't bother with your calories from the gym in terms of what you burned. Just focus on getting a good workout in, making sure you're fueling your body. If you have an off meal, do your regular workout, don't go bananas, and when you get to your next meal, just focus on eating something healthy, one step at a time. That's how we do it.
Bad advice number 5 is actually a twofer. Cardio's the worst or the best.
Now, while exercise alone will not solve all of your weight loss problems,
Oh man!
you do still need to be doing it. One of the biggest debates among everybody is whether or not you should be doing cardio. Some people religiously do cardio and swear that's the only way to do weight loss. Other people are like, no, forget cardio, it's the devil, or something to that extent. You should be doing weightlifting. And the truth is, you should be doing both.
For those of you wondering how much of each you should be doing, the answer, according to the CDC, is 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity aerobic activity or 75 minutes a week of vigorous intensity aerobic activity, as well as at least 2 days of muscle strengthening, also known as weight training.
You also need to have the aerobic capacity to do hard things. I work with a lot of older adults, and for some of them, muscle atrophy is definitely a problem because you do still need to be active, you do still need to strength train. But when you're walking down the hallway and you have to take a break because you are so winded you can't handle it, that's a problem. I don't want to get to being 80 and struggling to get down a hallway because I'm lacking either muscle or the aerobic endurance. So train cardio and do strength training. Okay, so there's one other thing that you should be very aware of with my close-up.
That's right. The next bit of bad advice is that you can totally spot reduce fat.
Something you should be very, very aware of, especially with all of the weight loss and fitness advertisements out there, is that you cannot spot reduce fat. If a workout says you are guaranteed to lose 3 inches off your waist
and thighs.
The lie detector determined that's a lie.
Now, that's not to say that it can't still be a good workout, but you cannot spot reduce fat. As much as I would like to get rid of my little donut belly, a workout for my abs won't do that. Will it strengthen my abs? Absolutely. Should I still do it? Also, absolutely. Core strength is important. You kind of lose weight as a whole, and you do that by being in a calorie deficit. But you can't guarantee where you're gonna lose it. That's more of just how your individual body works. Some people tend to slim down in certain areas. For me, I actually lost a full cup size before I lost weight anywhere else. So, that was fun. But if it says it's gonna spot reduce a specific area, just know that that is not how it works, and don't be fooled.
Bad piece of advice number 7 is that you have to have everything figured out to be successful.
One of the biggest misconceptions in health, fitness, and honestly, life in general, is that you have to have it all figured out. The truth is, well, that's a sexy face. Ugh. Okay. The truth is, no one starts out on this journey knowing exactly what works for them. While yes, certain things are staples. Calories in, calories out, eat less within reason, move more, all of that. What works for you individually is going to be different than what works for everybody else. It's okay the first time you walk into a gym to be like, oh my God, this is so new. I'm kind of nervous. I don't want to look like an idiot. What the heck am I doing? It's okay. No one came out of the womb knowing exactly what diet was going to work for them and exactly what workout makes the most sense. Take it one day, one meal, and one workout at a time.
The 8th piece of bad advice, and the one I struggle with the most, is that you can only measure progress via the scale.
There is also no need to feel like scale victories are the only victories out there. Because guess what? Your weight is going to fluctuate. Forget the fact that I have tennis shoes on right now, but 227 pounds. If y'all remember a couple videos ago, Christmas fat assing, I was a little closer to like 214, 216. Fluffy season has reigned. And now it's over, and I can get back on track. Because, the sugar addiction got kind of real for a while there. Video about that below. But scale victories are not the only thing worth celebrating. You know how many things have changed since I started losing weight? Let me tell you. A lot has changed since I've started losing weight. My relationship with food has gotten so much better. I originally really had issues with ever losing weight because the second I ate something that was bad, I beat myself up, but then instead of going on to my next meal and being like, okay, now I'll eat healthier, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I ate like crap, the whole day is ruined, and I would binge the rest of the day. Not only am I going on to the next meal making healthier choices, my binging has stopped almost entirely. My knees and feet have stopped hurting all the time. I stopped taking the elevators and started taking the stairs and did not feel like I was dying afterwards. I don't get winded quite so easily. I have more energy as a whole. And I've actually found that there's a pretty big link for me between sugar and feeling depressed. I absolutely just never want to leave the couch when all I do is eat sugar. But if I actually fuel my body appropriately, not only do I feel better physically, I actually feel so much happier and I enjoy my life so much more. There are so many things that you get to look forward to that aren't just what's on the scale. Sometimes that scale doesn't want to budge, and sometimes it is admittedly because I'm having a little bit too much sugar, still something I'm struggling with, but things have improved. I know that because of the changes I've made in my life and because of continuing to do cognitive behavioral therapy for weight loss, which really has been a godsend, because of that, I am eventually, God willing, going to be able to live a long, happy, and healthy life. Where I'm at right now is just part of the journey for me, and where you're at right now is just part of the journey for you. It doesn't have to be the end result, and you should absolutely celebrate every single step along the way. If you guys enjoyed my tips for the world's worst weight loss advice that you'll get, then I highly recommend subscribing and liking the video down below. Also, I want to know what the worst weight loss tips are that you guys have ever heard, so comment down below and let me know. And I will see you lovely humans some Friday in the very near future. Hi. He's mad because I won't let him go because he was trying to eat the Christmas tree. Bye-bye.